The future is literally teamwork. And I'm basing this off of the context that so much can get done now collaboratively across borders, across countries, across state lines. And so not only number one is communication can happen on a multitude of different levels, and all communication is good. Now there might be different ways to be able to communicate that's going to be more effective face to face, belly to belly, than over the phone or in a text or an email, but it's still all good. Every form of communication can help you stay on point and continue to move forward as a team. And so what we're going to see going forward, in my prediction, is a lot of organizations teaming up in order to get things accomplished. You already see it right now with virtual assistants in other countries helping people in other countries, right? And so you're not concerned about the overall time zone difference. You're not overly concerned about the language barrier because it's being beat. It's being satisfied because there's people that are bilingual. You have the opportunity, if you look at the education right now, the way that it's happening is it's done in pods, it's done in these group settings. And so why people often ask, like, why are millennials so good at teamwork? Because that's how they were taught as kids, right? They got rid of the traditional classroom setting of rows of desks and everybody was kind of in their own individual spot to all of a sudden these big open group sessions. There's bean bags all over the place. There's big tables, and that's exactly what existed for a lot of these kids when it came to their educational system. They started being given group projects. They saw value as a teacher to in the classroom to do these group assignments because it was a way, number one, that person that was struggling could actually get risen up. And you're going to find the same thing today. When you put if you put a group of people individually together, they should be stronger. It's that old Aesop's fable, right? It's the dad that to the sons and says, "Hey, here's a piece of wood," and he gives them one stick, and they're all able to break it. And he says, "Okay, now here's a pile of sticks, 10 at a time," and they're unable to break this bundle of sticks. And he says, "You're like that. Individually, each of you are weak, but collectively, you are even stronger." And that's exactly, I think, the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. He calls it synergy, that 1 + 1 equals higher multiple than 2. And it's that idea that as we come together and form a team, we should be even greater than what we're able to do right now. So in teamwork, just like any communication level, you're going to have disagreements, you're going to have different opinions, and that's okay. Everyone's opinion is valid. Now recognize that your feelings, although they might be real, could be rooted in something completely wrong. So the person that gets uberly stressed out, anxiety driven about having to work, do public speaking, right? Have a presentation. They get so nervous, they get so caught up in it, and then they give the presentation. They like all that anxiety, all that worry about it. It was real, but it was not founded on anything because it went totally fine and they crushed it and they did a great job. And so that's one thing to recognize about sometimes your feelings. It can completely distract you and can give you these false senses of non-reality that you can do things. You can accomplish that. We're not talking about phobias like arachnophobia, things like that. We're talking about just the anxiety that's ridden, nor are we talking about mental health issues, but we're just talking about that anxiety that comes in that really has no basis on what's actually going on in your life. And so when you can come into this group of a team and understand that everyone's opinion matters, and that we're not all going to agree on the way that we're going to accomplish this. If everyone has that understanding, then hopefully they can go into an understanding as well that then everybody's point of view can add value to what we're talking about right now. And collectively as a group, we might move forward with a decision or an idea that none of us had even thought of coming into this meeting. And I find that that's where you have breakthroughs. You have breakthroughs when a team can realize that the sum of what they all bring collectively is going to be different than what each individual might have thought of when they first came at it. Why are we still driving the exact same car that we were over 100 years ago? Yes, it's safer, it's faster, but it's basically the same kind of car, is because nobody in that group has ever said we should be doing something differently. Should this car fly? Let's have 20 scientists figure that out. Then we'd probably be in flying cars today. So the moment that a group of individuals can have a look at a problem and try to find white space, try to find something that doesn't exist right now, that's when we start having innovation. That's when we start having breakthroughs. Teamwork. It's the way of the future.